Welcome back to Mi Miami Vida. I am Juan Carmona.
And I am Ariana Luna, and we are your hosts. So for this episode, we're going to continue with the interview with Danny Chance of New Breed Wrestling, and we get to hear more about how New Breed works and a deeper look into it.
Basing off or going off what you said of the luchas and the luchadores, I noticed at the last show you all had a lot of luchas there. Are you going to start bringing some of those guys back?
Yes, we are. Because I don't mean to cut you off, but it's because the idea is one of the guys backstage who helps with the setup of the shows and everything like that. He was like, hey, what if we do this every other month or just once a month or just whatever? And I was like, well, sure, let's do this and let's see how it works. Now, I enjoyed the match. Now, once I got backstage, it was a different story. From two of the six guys didn't do so hot. Okay, that's fine, but the fans react to it, I think, and they had really good moments. Minor tweaking to what they did, how they did certain things. It's why are you doing it? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? But it's real different. Like the American rules and lucha rules are different. Where lucha, they do things just to do it sometimes, whereas we want to do it and we want to show you, like, we want to tell you why we're doing things at certain times. But we are gonna do. We are bringing back one of the guys that was on the show. He canceled. We're bringing him back. April 10th, he's wrestling Danny Ramones, and that flyer that graphic's being made already for that match. But he canceled because he was booked in Mission, and his match was match 2, but his show started at 6. Over here is match 4, but we started at 5. So the timing was just off for him, and then something happened where a couple guys showed up late, so then they got moved around, and it was just real messed up. But that guy that we're bringing down again, Juventud Area, I met him in Houston for local wrestling, and it was just, he's really good, and he's like under the radar still. And I know a lot of guys see our product, so I want to get him over here, and hopefully some of the guys that do like new types pro wrestling and Lions Pride, they'll see him and like, oh hey, like who's that luchador? He's really good, and he knows English and Spanish, but his English is like not all the way there, but nonetheless, like he's a stud. He's a stud, and Decimus is really good. And Decimus did make the show. He was really good. I'm really impressed with that guy. But I think he's from San Antonio, I think. So, yeah.
One question. Okay, can you describe a little bit more the difference between lucha and?
Yeah. So lucha is not just the difference. It's not just a mask. It's not. It's one thing is they usually do 2 out of 3 falls, whereas wrestling it's always 1 fall. That's it. So 1 pin, 1, 2, 3, you're done. 1 tap out, you're done. So there's usually 2 out of 3 falls. And within the first match, our what we tell in one match, they do the first 2 of it in their first match. Then we do in the middle part, or the third and the fourth part of our match, they're doing the second match, and then the big finish, they're doing the third match. Now, whether they flip these 2 around, which they can't see, right? So they flip 3 and 4 around, they put that match in the first match. Well, that, I mean, usually when you start a match, when you watch a movie, you always see like a certain perception of the movie to the good guy. Have you guys seen Batman yet, the new one? So you saw to the bad guy's perception first, right? So that's a difference. You can start either to the good guy's perception or the bad guy's perception. So usually in American, it's good guy first. So good guy does first. He does all his stuff. Then the bad guy does their stuff, and then you do the finish. You go home. That's what it's called, going home. With lucha, what they do in the good guy stuff, the perception stuff, they do that in match 1. It's all good guy, and then he bends 1, 2, 3. Okay, now the match 2 is gonna start. Now you see the bad guy take over. There's a low blow, something dirty, pokes the eye, whatever. Now the bad guy's on top, and now that's match 2. And then the bad guy wins 1, 2, 3. The go home, the finish is just them doing like their tombstone power drivers and the power bombs and their flip and flaps and everything. That's the third fall. You build up. So what you do in wrestling is sometimes you switch up the first 2 around. You go bad guy first, start with the punching the good guy around, so the fans will be like, hey, boo, he cheated, he took him from behind. Oh, shut up. And then the good guy fires up on you. Then the good guy starts beating you up, and then you do the rest of the stuff. But with the lucha, they do that in match 1. They just do this specific portion. Match 2, this specific portion. Match 3, go home. 1, 2, 3. And that's the real big difference of all that. Everything's the same. They do work the left side. They do the arm drags. Just one. They do left and right arm drags. We only focus on the left side, but everything is the same. They throw off the left side. They do left to left as well. Everything else is like similar.
Seeming as like wrestling is very technical and very physical. Do you have any advice to anyone wanting to start a wrestling career but maybe scared to get into it or doesn't know how to get into it?
So, I mean, we have guys. We had 2 new students that signed up this week. One of them's 32. He's now our second oldest guy, or the oldest guy, and he's in good shape. Then you have this other guy who's turning 21 March 20th, and he's not really in shape. He's kind of out of shape, but they both, when you're here, that's the reason why we do a lot of workouts the first hour and a half, because we want to get you in ring shape before your first match. The 17-year-old Danny Chance would do a lot of stupid things before matches and after matches and in between matches. So that person, for whatever reason, being as dummy as he would be, would not have the best kind of cardio. I would just tell you from. All right. So the Danny Chance now that doesn't do anything stupid like that has better cardio, and that Danny Chance was Chris Austin and Danny Ramones. We're like, hey, you can do whatever you want, but you're gonna work out, and if you're not progressively getting better, there's some things in your diet or something to do at home to help you fix you, to make yourself just better in the ring. I tell a lot of guys that when they think that they're ready, I'm like, if I put you in there 5 minutes with me, you're gonna die. I'm gonna make you throw up. You can't even go 10 minutes. You can't go 5 minutes with me. I can't try to go 10 minutes in front of a live audience. Now, some of them we put them in the ring a little too soon, but that's only because, hey, sink or swim, let's see where you're at right now. And then we'll come back and we'll work on it. But that's what they did with me. But no one ever really comes in and then quit on the first week. They know on the first day whether they got a lot of work ahead of them or, hey, that just ain't for me. But no one comes in like, all right, I'm gonna do it, and they're really in good shape. Like, all right, I'm out. As far as like getting things ready, I would just say if they want to do it, come and dip your toes in the water, and then if it's not for you, that's fine. Like, that's what we're here for. Go spend one day, one training session with us, and learn here with home, or go travel to San Antonio and then pay $3,000 to train for 3 or 4 or 5 months, and then lose all that money if you quit on the first day. You see, that's why we open this stuff up for these guys.
So, what are your plans for Valley Wrestling? Do you have any big goals for expanding?
Yes, of course. The landlord of this warehouse, he's going to build another one of these. And obviously, we already had big goals. This is a 1,500 square foot. We want to buy a 3,000 square foot, but it was just out of our budget. We've already put in a lot of money into everything already at that point. 2 years now since then, we're like, hey, Mr. Landlord, we want to get that 3,000 square foot space. He's gonna make another one of these warehouses somewhere here in McAllen. And we're gonna get, he said, we're gonna get first dibs. We're gonna get the biggest one we can get, and we're gonna do weekly shows out of that specific training space. So just imagine this right here, but without the wall in the middle. And that's it. We're gonna put the ring directly behind us in the middle, lock off a corner, put in AC units, which we could do it now, but we let the guys suffer. We all suffer in here, So it gets really hot in the summer, it's really cold in the winters. But we're gonna do that. That's our goal. Like, that's our very, very next step goal, is to go from a 1,500 square feet to a 3,000 square feet, and we do weekly shows out of here. And yeah, and the guy already said, like, you don't need to really have any sort of like sales ID or anything, because we're only doing the door and concessions, just like chips. You don't really need any type of food license for that. And then I asked him, well, what about like drinks? He's like, well, you can still like bottles of water, because again, you don't need to have any type of food license for that. But he's like, no alcohol. I was like, well, what if they bring the alcohol? And they said, yes, it's private property. They could bring their own alcohol. So if we do shows weekly, it's BYOB. And that's a plus.
And just selling the drinks and the ice.
Yes. We'll have everything else. We'll have the food, the little snacks and everything. Obviously, we'll have our own chairs and everything. But yeah, that's our very, very next goal is upgrade from this to a weekly performance, and then that one Sunday over there, and then every Friday or Saturday, whatever, we'll be doing shows out of our training facility. Now it's not really top secret, but like obviously our landlord has not yet started construction with this new warehouse. It could be in December, it could be 2023. We don't know, but that is the next goal with the school and the promotion running consistently. Because that way, like again, I wrestled every Thursday. So I got 4 times in a month. My trainers are getting once a month. They don't have like they're what they have to learn from. They don't have immediate. Okay, it's fixed the second time. They have to wait an entire month to fix it, and like it kind of throws them off. But it's just what the hands that we're dealt with right now.
So, I have one last question for you. Mm-hmm. What has been your favorite wrestling match that you've ever done in your whole career?
Me and Chris Austin. Chris Austin was at the time, I think it was like a year, 2 years into wrestling. We had never wrestled in a singles match, a tag team match, like at all. And at this time, we were at Sinare, wrestling under Wrestling Revolution. I wasn't the promoter or anything. I was just one of the wrestlers at the time. And we had done this. What we do is we'd have a tournament for the main title, and so there was 8 wrestlers. I won my match. He won his match. So he went in the second quarterfinals, I guess you can say. And the reason why that match was so good and so like my favorite match is not because it was like, oh, we did the craziest things or whatever. There was moments where we felt like on hard concrete, where I kicked him to a concrete wall and I fell on the concrete floor. That's where Matatan was like, oh my God, like there's videos of it. Oh my God, Danny, you okay? And he's helped me up, like a fan has helped me up, getting from the floor, right? That's one. But he, at the time, he had a little reputation backstage of being a little shit. I'm sorry if I caught. I'm so sorry. He was being a little, a kid, immature. People. He was running some people the wrong way. Me as well. And so it was me, a veteran, him and a rookie, and then the other quarterfinal match were both veterans, and one of them was a champ who is trying to defend his belt throughout the tournament. So we were given the semi-main, and they were given the main event match, and the expectations were that they would have a better match than us, not just because he's a champ, but because they're both veterans. So, like being like the dark horse of that entire the matches of that night, we had everybody that was booing him, except for like a small section of people that were cheering for him, and I had like a big it started off at 10% cheering for him and 90% cheering for me. We did throughout the match. We get to a point where we do a crazy spot. Oh, what was it? We did a powerbomb off the top turnbuckle, straight to the canvas, boom, and he kicks out, and we're both getting up, I believe. And at this moment, it wasn't no longer 10-90, it was 50-50, and that was when we both had that moment where it was like, they're so loud, our ears were ringing at this moment, like it was crazy loud, and we're hitting each other. So I hit him once, yay, and instead of getting hit back and saying boo, more fans started saying yay, and I hit him back, and then my fans are going yay. So then the others are getting louder and louder after every hit, every forearm, every kick, and eventually the ending of it was like, he ran the ropes, came back, I kicked him in the face, I hit the ropes, I come back, he gives me a knee, we both do something, hit each other in the face, we kicked each other in the head, and then we both did something where we both like hit each other, and we both fell. And there was fans that were like, this is awesome. Mm-hmm. And then even more fans are getting more involved with it. And so even though I lost, that's never the point in professional wrestling, it's not MMA, it's not boxing, but even though I lost, the promoter and the rest in the back were like, holy that was the best match that we've had done here in a long time. And I was like, dude, that's because I just told him, like, just listen to me, and I'll take care of you. And like, all I want you to do is just give me some, like, I'll give you some moments to, like, you know, whatever you want to do, but everything else is just listen to me. And he didn't just like do what I said. He did more, and not in the bad way. He did more. Like, he made up for the things that was like probably that would have lacked if he had just done everything he was supposed to do. But that night, that whole night was special. The whole moment was awesome. One of my favorite match of all time. And that's when I respected him. After that, I was like, you know what? You're rubbing me the wrong way and all these things, but that was concrete. Like, you can go. And I pushed you, and I pushed him. Like, you're gonna, like, cardio, everything. We get to the back and we're dripping sweat. Like, the guys were giving us water bottles and pouring water on us, and it was like not even phasing us. They were just so dehydrated. We were so tired after that match. And we went like 20 minutes. We went like 20 minutes, so it was a long match too. And there was no what we call botches, no mess ups, no hiccups. Everything was just perfect, all the way to the very end. And yeah, the promoter at the time, his name was James Dante, and he's a wrestler turned, you know, retired and everything. He just wanted to help out, keep things going and everything. This is like, WR was his baby. And he tells me after the match in private, after everything was over, he was like, I talked to the main event guys, and I told them I made you guys the main event because I expected you guys to be the best match of the night. I have two veterans that know each other well, who are real good friends. Like, we're all close, we're best friends, and you guys did not do as well as this kid who is 18, 19, 20, and then Danny Chance, who at the time was like 24 or something, 25. So like, he's like, you're telling me that this kid right here, who's his first year and second year in, just had a better match with this guy than you guys did? What the heck? Like, that was like the craziest match that we have seen in a while now. And yeah, it was really cool to just like throw everybody like out for like they just throw them out for like a loop. They were like, yeah, you know, they're gonna have a good match, but then we're gonna do all this stuff, we're gonna do this, and we just blew everyone out of the water. And that is like, it's on YouTube, it's on my Facebook. I have it saved in my phone somewhere on my phone. But yeah, it's my favorite match. I think I've seen that one like 30 times, and it's 25 minutes. I've seen it well over an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I've seen it so many times, and that was the match I would promote first. Like, when I did my certain tries I did, they would ask for like a resume or like matches, you know, 3 matches, and that was always my first match to send out. Then me and Ray Rowe, because obviously WWE, TNA, WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan guy, and then I had another match I wrestled with another guy. But that was always the first match I threw out there. Even though I wrestled the former WWE guys and I didn't put them on my thing, I always put this one on there because the crowd work was so like, they were so into it, and it started off like, you want to go 0 to 60. Never 15 to 60, 30 to 60. You want to go from the very, very bottom to the very, very top. We started off at like 1, and we got everybody to 60, 65, 70. And at the end of it, they want us to keep fighting, like fight forever. And I was like, yes, but we're not, because I'm tired. I'm going to go home. But yeah, that was my favorite match. And that's why he's a trainer now, Chris Austin. Like, he and I'm trying to do my best for everybody. And I'm real selfless when it comes to it, because like I put my name out there to get Chris Austin to have at least one match in Florida, which he did. Get him with the promoter in Mississippi to wrestle in Arkansas, he did. I got him and one of my students to go wrestle. They just announced it yesterday, to wrestle May 18th, I believe. May 18th in Mississippi. Like, I'm getting my guys out there. I'm trying to get, you know, your eyes on, especially Chris Austin, because he's not, like, people think he's my trainee, and people assume that he's not. He's not my trainee. He's a coach. He knows what he's doing, but we push each other here. We push each other here, and I try to get him as much bookings as I can get him, because I want people to know this kid is a stud. He can go, and yeah, because he's special. Like, he is really good, and he's like 23, 24. Like, he's young still.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to say about this or anything?
We train 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. or 9 p.m. We're here between 3 to 6 days a week, never on Sundays. We don't train on Sundays. If God's resting, I'm resting. And then Yeah, we focus on, we'll teach you all the basics, everything that you've seen on TV, we'll teach you all that, and then some. The stuff that you don't know, the things that are backstage, behind the scenes, even the minuscule things, what would make a decent match good, and a good match great, and a great match your best match to date. Me and the guys, or I will have to, if I don't care, I'll pull up your match and show you, this is where you went wrong, this is why, this is where you gotta do better. I will do that for these guys. And the eyes of a regular fan, which is obviously our fan base, our audience, we want to reach out to all the regular fans. If you put a good match on for them, they're going to think that was a good match. We're going to tell you backstage that match sucked, and this is why. So there's a real big difference between me and our eyes and our perception and what could have made that match better. Now the fans say, oh, that was a good match, and we tell them that match was decent. If they had done an actual good match, that in our eyes, then the fans would have thought, oh, that was a great match. And that's what we aim to do here. I told everybody when we started doing this is, I'm not a businessman. I'm not an entrepreneur. I don't know anything business-wise. I hate it. I hate talking about money. I hate talking about bills. I hate talking about, I'm a wrestler at heart. I'm not a promoter. I don't do storylines well, but I know what I'm talking about when it comes to wrestling, and I want to make the quality of wrestling better in the Valley, because for the longest time, it was just literally just Danny Ramones and Bannon and Joe that were getting these recognitions, and then they fell off, and I stepped up. And there was 3 or 4 other guys that are just as good as me or were better than me that did not step up. I'm the one that stepped up. I'm the one that made connections to go try out and wrestle in Florida, California, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, all over Texas, Tennessee, Colorado. I'm the one that did that to wrestle, like my cars, my vehicles, my tires, everything. I'm the one that went and traveled 19 hours to Colorado for 3 days and rest only 2 days and not make my money back at all, because you're not going to make that money back, and drive all the way back home with my wife. Those are the type of sacrifices I did to make these things, whereas there was other guys who were older than me, who were way better than me, or just as good, as I said, that didn't step up. And so I'm trying to make my guys just the standard of wrestling here in the Valley, make it a good quality wrestling, and then from there, whether they spread their wings and make these connections that hopefully they do make, great, and keep moving up the totem pole, or hey, I love it, I'm not gonna do anything else, I'm gonna just stay here and be fine with you, that's fine too. But my thing is, I want to make their first steps here so they're prepared for the things that they're not prepared for. So yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back. That was a great interview. To be honest, like I said before, I wasn't really back into the scene of wrestling since I was a kid. But the way he taught, the stories he told and the history he told and all that really got me interested in going to see a show locally. But speaking of shows locally, and one of the reasons we ended up doing this episode, and Ariana got me into the whole thing, and then she told me the story, and I'm like, it's a story we need to share. It's a great little, cute little story, and so I'm going to let her take it away from here.
Okay, yeah. So we got this idea for this episode after this little event that happened at one of the New Breed wrestling shows, and I had mentioned it, I think, once already before to you. But now, after it happened, we had to do it, It was just something that, we just had to cover, right? Also, it's really big, and not a lot of people know about it. And they put on amazing shows, and they're really entertaining, they're really fun, and I think they deserve way more exposure and just a lot more fans, because it is really entertaining. So, to make a long story short, me and my boyfriend, my then boyfriend, who's now my fiance, me and my boyfriend would go to a lot of New Breed shows. We frequented them before COVID, and then after COVID also, or once everything started opening up again, they started having shows at Brewsome, as Danny Chance says. They started having shows at Brewsome. We started going. They were really fun. They were really entertaining. My fiance is super friendly with a lot of wrestlers. So they recognize them, they recognize us, and, we're just cool with them. And so, we're going to a show one day, or we plan it, and it happens to be my birthday. This happened this last summer. It happened to be my birthday, and I told my fiance, I want to go to a show for my birthday. I just want to have couple drinks with my family at Brewsome with you, watch some wrestling, like have a nice, really fun birthday, right? So he says, okay, yeah, like, sounds perfect. Like, I'll make sure I'm off work that day. Like, and I was like, I'll invite my family because usually it's just me and my fiance who go. But I invited my dad, my mom, my sister, my brother. And he also invited his mom and his brother and I think 2 of his nephews also. So I'm going. I think it's going to be kind of like a normal show, just a normal outing, but it's my birthday also. So, like, we were going to go to Brewsome, watch New Breed, and then go have dinner for my birthday. Just like a regular birthday, right? But little did I know, something was planned, a surprise for me. So, during intermission of the show, this group goes up. They're called the Kingdom. It's a group of 4 guys, right? So they go up, and they're like, hey, I see some Kingdom fans out in the crowd, and since me and my fiance frequent the shows, we had bought shirts. So just out of coincidence, only me and my fiance were wearing their shirts, right? So I was like, oh, like, they want to take a picture with us because we have their shirts. So we go up into the ring. They're going to take a picture of us. I think they're going to take a picture of us. And so we get into the ring, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to position myself. Like, I don't know really what's going on. First of all, everybody was looking at us. We were in the ring, and I was kind of nervous. I really didn't want to take a picture, but like, they had called us up, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of shy. And then, yeah, so I'm there, and then I turn around, and then there's my boyfriend on one knee, and he's proposing to me in the middle of the ring at a New Breed wrestling show. And it was the sweetest, cutest thing ever. I was totally blindsided. I had no idea he was cooking up this little plan. My family, my mom and dad were in on it. They knew what was going to happen. But, yeah, we were all, like, surprised. My mom, my brother, my sister, my brother, my fiance's brother, like, we just were, like, all blindsided, right? And, of course, I said yes, because he's my fiance now, right? And so it was really cool for Danny, and the Kingdom to agree to allow my fiance to do that for me. And so, yeah, so New Breed holds a special place in my heart just because I got engaged at one of their shows, and they were nice enough to go along with it. And yeah, so they know us really well now, not only because we interviewed Danny Chance, but also because we got engaged at one of their shows. And I thought it's just amazing. Wrestling's kind of our thing, me and my fiance. It just became our thing. So yeah, we're wrestling fans because, it's entertaining, it's fun, it's kind of, it's fun, right? And yeah, so New Breed put on an amazing show that day. I really couldn't focus after that because I was just like super surprised because I had just gotten engaged. And yeah, so there's pictures. I think there's a couple pictures on the New Breed wrestling page of when we got engaged. Because they also have a photographer that takes pictures for them. So we actually got, like, professional pictures that same day also of my engagement. So that was amazing. Like, not a lot of people have that opportunity. So yeah, it was a whole thing. It was a whole plan. They were sneaking around behind my back to do it. And yeah, it was just super cool. And yeah, so I just want to thank Danny Chance and the Kingdom for doing that favor for my fiance. And just, making it one of the happiest days of my life.
Well, it was a great story. I'm so happy for Ariana and Kenny, and look forward to seeing them as Mr. and Mrs.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy. I thought it was great when she first called and told me, and I was like, we got to talk about this on the podcast. And, we're already doing it on wrestling. We have to conclude it on a really happy note. And that's a really happy note.
Yeah.
And, well, we look forward to coming back with another podcast soon. But until then, we love you, RGV.